and welcome to Boredom Busters with episode 35. Woohoo! I'm Corinne from the North Balford Library with Lakeland Library Region, and I hope everybody had a safe and somewhat relaxing February break. So, even if it was really freaking cold. I don't know about you guys, but I always love looking at the frost in windows when it's really cold and seeing all the shapes and designs that are formed and taking pictures out of it. So I thought today it might be cool to make some crystallized snowflakes that last year-round. I did debate about doing this before February break, but then it's like, this is something better that you do the night before, leave, and then you leave it while you're at school, and then you come home to something cool. What you'll need for today: borax, which you find in the laundry detergent. There are quite a few different crafts that you can do involving borax, but guys, be careful with it. This is not something that you want to ingest. You don't want to get it in your eyes. It's a form of soap. It's a chemical. Be careful around it, please and thank you. You'll also need water, a glass jar or cup, a craft stick, a pipe cleaner, string or ribbon, and you might also need some scissors. That's what you need for the craft itself, but you will also need a pot, a spoon, and a stove. Parental help is definitely encouraged for this because we're dealing with boiling water, and again, we're dealing with the chemical, so let's get started. Step 1. Assemble your base snowflake. So I am saying snowflake, but whatever shape you want to make with your pipe cleaner is what your crystallized shape is. So what I'm going to do is you want to kind of fold it into threes and cut it. And then you're going to make some X's out of it so that everything is kind of all together. It's probably easiest if you do start with just 2 and then add your third one in. You've got a little snowflake here, and if you want or have some extra pipe cleaners, you can use those and cut them to make it so that you've got some extra little spikies on them. So just a heads up, this craft is going to be another take and make. So if you're at the library, I will have bags with this craft in there. So hopefully you guys can check it out too. Okay, so what we need to do once we've made our shape is make sure that it actually fits inside of our glass bowl, because our pipe cleaners will bend, but we're going to try and crystallize this. So you want to make sure that it fits in here without squishing or bending, because once we've got it crystallized, it will break if it doesn't fit. So now that my snowflake is kind of arranged how I want it, I'm going to take a string and tie it around the middle of it. There we go. There. And then I'm going to I need a different jar because my popsicle stick won't sit on top of it. And I have to have your snowflake arranged so that you can have it hanging in the jar without touching any of the sides or the bottom. So I'm gonna grab a new one of that and a different glass, and I'll show you, I'll take a picture of how it fits in there. But we're gonna move on to the science experiment part of the evening. Step 2. Let's start with the solution for the crystallization. Start by boiling a cup of water. We're going to be doing a little bit of a science project here and making a saturated solution. What is a saturated solution? Water is made up of molecules. When you heat up the water, the molecules move further from one another. And when you freeze water, they move closer to each other. When we are trying to fill the empty spaces between the water molecules with our borax powder. So a solution is considered saturated when no more powder will dissolve. And when the water is boiled, the molecules are their furthest apart, which means we can dissolve more powder. So now that our water is boiled, I'll let you can't really see it bubbling, but it is bubbling. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of borax and stir it until it is completely dissolved. Again, make sure you aren't getting any on your hands and putting them near your face or near your mouth. We're following COVID rules. Don't only touch your face if your hands are clean, okay? So I have a cup of water here, and I am adding in 3 tablespoons of borax, and now I need to stir until it is completely dissolved. So now we're moving on to step 3. I've got my glass set somewhere where I won't have to move it for at least 24 hours. So now I'm going to fill up my glass with the water and borax solution, and then I'll put my snowflake inside. But you can see how it's not touching any of the sides and all of that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to do another batch because, as you can see, I don't have my snowflake down low enough, so the water isn't completely covering what's happening. So now that my snowflake is fully submerged, sorry about that, we have to wait. But what's happening while we wait? So it has to do with why we saturated the water. As the water cools, the molecules come back together and push the borax particles out. These particles will settle slowly to the bottom of the glass or onto anything they land on, and these become the crystals. If the cooling process is too quick, or the jar or the glass is disturbed, you may end up with irregularly shaped crystals. Do you guys remember in the spring when I did the video on how to make rock candy. This is the same sort of idea. My rock candy never really did turn out, and now I know why. I used a plastic cup so it wasn't able to cool the same, and I kept moving the cups. So I will post some pictures of this with a little bit of a time lapse of these crystals, and I'll wrap up the video tomorrow in roughly 24 hours. So after the 24 hours, or longer if you decide, pull your snowflake or whatever shape you've made out of the cup, and this is what mine looks like after 24 hours. So you can do this, you can try experimenting with this and add some dye in with your borax solution to see if it changes the color. You can leave it in longer, you can leave it in shorter. This one, I had to bend things a little bit to help it fit into the glass without being on touching the sides, but I still think this looks pretty darn cool. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and I hope you guys come to the library and grab one of our take and make kits with this, or you guys do it at home if you guys have borax at home. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and stay safe. Bye!